Yo, what is up guys, it's FullySpaced and today we're going to be looking at 25 plus different kind of building tips and tricks and little designs here and there that you can kind of implement into your world or take some inspiration from. So let's start off with our first one here. We got this kind of outdoor churchy kind of vibe area, so maybe somewhere is getting married or something, and you can kind of come up here. Obviously you would have your vows and everything here. You could also add these little candlesticks here with the bars and the end rods on them inside an actual church to kind of look like giant candles, but I made it for an outside version, obviously making it inside, and you could create this nice little interior using the end rods and obviously the bars as well, bars and end rods to create these candles. So inside this, in a church, this would look really cool. But I made a little like nice outside one, so obviously some people do have kind of summer weddings and things, so maybe you want to add something small like that to your world. And obviously there's a little feather in the back, so you can kind of sign away here. Anyway, it's just a nice little trick with the bars and the end rods there as well to kind of form this little outdoorsy, proposal or wedding area. Next up we have a few here actually. So first off, I got a nice little pond that I just quickly threw down. Then obviously you have things like lily pads, but you can kind of generate these other lily pads by using the new warped trapdoor kind of in the water. And once in the water, on top of that, you can just place the coral, the fanned coral. I'd probably go with the pink one. It looks a lot better, but it definitely sets off this more Japanese style kind of feel to the pond. So it's something I would definitely try out. And once again, if you want to make something like this heat coming from the pond as well, so like smoke. Obviously, you can't actually see the smoke in the water. Mostly from here you can't see it, but when you're inside you can see it. So it just looks like there's smoke coming out the wall, so you can't actually see where it's coming from. But just literally underneath this block here is a campfire, and that produces the smoke. It makes it look the water is very hot. So just a nice little tip, little trick there. And then same over here. We got a third little design. This one's just literally using different materials. So we're using oak log here, and then spruce logs here, and dark oak fences here. A few of these that I saw on Reddit, and I believe this one and these two, this one here, and I made a different variant of it there. Ones that I kind of saw on the r/detail craft. And it's just a few details, things, that small little things that you can kind of implement here. So we've got oak logs here, and then when you come down you get spruce, because it kind of looks a lot darker. Makes it look like it's actually wet, along with the fence, and obviously you got a spruce fence and a dark oak fence there. So dark oak and spruce kind of look really similar for some reason in the fence variant. If you actually use the dark oak wood, it looks completely different. It's quite weird, so you need to use a spruce log and a dark oak fence to get a nice kind of matching pattern there. But yeah, it kind of creates like the water's been pushing against it and it's going all wet, and yeah, it's just a nice little effect to make sure or make things look a bit more wet. So those pillars, for example. Next up is just a simple jacuzzi design. So obviously you can kind of walk up. It's just a giant square. Inside we've got obviously stairs hanging around, so you can kind of sit in here. And then underneath these lanterns are just some campfires. Once again, because obviously the campfires underneath the lanterns produce the smoke through, and it comes through the water. Just similar to the pond over there. So it just creates a nice little campfire design there. Now this one here is one I did see on the little detail craft Reddit. And to make this, all you need to actually do is basically, so you would start off with your plank here, and then you want to place the armor stand first. I'll quickly just give you a small demonstration on how this works, because it's one of those that people want to know, and it's a lot easier to kind of show you. So we want to get a piston as well, and then you kind of just extend. So you want to get a piston that goes down. Then just get a redstone block, for example, and you literally just push the glass on top, like so, and that's it. So make sure you put on the armor before you do that, but that just kind of shows you how to simply do it. Then you just feel around with the edges of trapdoors, got button and things underneath. There's another similar design here, so you can use two trapdoors surrounding it, barrels underneath, so you can have swords and shields in there as well. Just a more small little touch to that design. Another one is using the invisible item frames over here. So you can add little frames around the composter to make them look like vases and have little pots kind of designs on them. Same here. Obviously you can put item frames on the bushes, so you can have bushes, leaves inside of the bush as well to make them like stick out more, be more kind of leafy and just actually stick out a bit more. Obviously I'm using gems but at least resource packs, so my bushes already look a lot better than default Minecraft, but with default Minecraft using these little textures are something that just kind of improves those standard bushes from, you know, just the original game. It's quite plain and boring, so they just kind of stand out a bit more. Obviously you can add berries onto them as well to create nice little berry bushes, and then just another small little variant plant here as well with those leaves on top to create a nice little variant of a bush there. Next up we've got a barrel here. You can add some fences to it, then just create this nice little bush and just hang some leaves off it. You can even have it hang a lantern off it just to create a small little kind of bush that could be sat outside your house or just on a path somewhere. And then another little variant of this too is just 2 fences, a hopper and then a grass block surrounded by trapdoors, and then a rose on top there. Nice little few little kind of exterior foliage designs there. And then obviously we've got another outdoor kind of section here. So this could be used as a camp, a pit, like a fire pit, for example. So you can either sit around on these edges, or you can sit around up here. And then obviously I've got a mix of blackstone and actually smithing tables in here to create a nice little ashy kind of effect, like the fire. The ashes come outside of it, which is quite a nice little thing to kind of play around with there. Another little trick you can use, beehives facing forward, and then have pots on top of them, just create nice little dressers. And then I've done the same here, and there's invisible iron frames with slabs in them here, so they could look like drawers. And then we've got banners that are just coloured with a blue stripe, white banner, blue stripe going across, and then an orange dye going around the edges. Simple kind of mirror with a lantern here, and then obviously surrounded by trapdoors. Creates a nice little dresser, and then you can improve the dresser once again, so you can make it free long. You get some bookshelves up here, another little pot there, beehive there, the slab here, little seating area there, just an improved dresser. Then this is just a little creative kind of bed design we got going on here. Down here, loads of barrels, using some chains here as well, and trapdoors, creating this kind of arch at the top over here, adding in some bookshelves in each section. You can kind of create this nice little kind of double bed area. So maybe in a house you could have 2 beds over in the corner for you and your friend if you're playing in a multiplayer kind of world. Just a little simple bed kind of design that is kind of tucked away inside the wall of your house, and you don't have to worry about walking around your bed every time because it's just kind of out the way, and you don't have to worry. You know, you've got crafting table and barrels as well, so simple kind of storage. You've also got backwards barrels inside the walls there as well for some more hidden storage too. Next up is one of my favourites, is just playing around with this. I'm using the lodestone here, 2 lodestones and 2 lodestones there, visible iron frames, and then black wall, kind of creates these nice little speakers, and then black stone pressure plates on top. And then obviously a little DJ deck, which is just created by some concrete, invisible iron frame with a disc on it, and then black leather helmet for kind of like a DJ headset. And then up here we've got some hanging chains. We're creating some nice little lighting here, so you can have some hanging lights like you're in a little club. And then obviously because we're outside, I added some bushes and things in, so it's just a little outside disco that you've got going on here. So you can use these lodestone blocks for speakers and things, really nice little touches. And then obviously you can have different heights of chains, and then add different lighting in, so you can have the normal lights, and then you can also have the new Nether lights in here as well. And then the same here, you can kind of create fairy lights by creating fences that dip an arch, and then add in the different lighting there to create a nice little fairy light effect. And then the same over here, just used with chains instead, which I basically did for the DJ thing here, but you can kind of have it in nice little archways when you walk through a town or a city. Obviously you can do the same with that one as well, so it depends on what style you prefer more, the fences or the chains. They're just kind of different variants from each other, so they're just cool little things you can kind of play around and add into your towns, so when you're walking through them it can be lit up and just look really cool. Next up here, just a simple dresser design, so somewhere you would hang your clothes. So you get some maybe like a walk-in wardrobe, it's like a wardrobe. You can just hang your clothes in here, a little clothes rail, and obviously you've got barrels down here as well, backwards barrels here as well for more storage. And then the same here, but we've put some banners in to look like some clothes are actually hanging. Just a small little design thing there. We've got some more chain designs as well. So you can use emeralds and hang them down. They're more kind of modern party kind of decorations, I guess. Or they do kind of fit into maybe dungeons, things, quite gloomy places. But we have more of a nice one to have here as well. So you can create hanging bushes with chains and leaves, and then we can mix it up with some lanterns in there as well to get some light off. This would also really fit really well in between these, adding just some leaves in to create nice hanging foliage too. And then obviously using the chain, we can put some black wool banners around it. You can create a nice little punching bag. Obviously I'm being creative, so I'm not going to punch it. because it will break. But obviously if you want to create some sort of gym or something, this would be a little thing you could add in as well here. Next up, we got just a small little idea. So basically what I've done here is created a free, so you go 3 and then 1, then 3. There's just a little circle here, and you can come in with on across this nice little path, and it's just a small little outdoor like farm design, just a small compact one for maybe somewhere you live. But it's just showing you can use leaves as kind of a barrier to stop people getting in or stop things getting in, and still make it look very natural and just really nice and pretty in general. So just a few small tips of using leaves to kind of create a path and as like kind of force you to kind of walk down the path, so you don't just kind of wander off into the middle of nowhere. So something useful for map makers there. Obviously you don't want people just wandering off down your map, so something created that kind of makes people stick towards the path is always something to look at as well when you're creating an actual playable map for others. Next up we got just a small chair design, grindstone on top, dark oak trapdoor here, and then one on the back as well, and then just lift up, just a small little chair design there. We've got some grave designs. You can have lodestones, mix of the soul sand and the soul soil, and then obviously you've got a pot with a flower on it, or you could have a little skull on it if you wish. And then simple one for the last build here, we just have a simple campfire with the trapdoors, probably one that everyone knows, and the bee box there to stop bees being angry. Obviously if you're doing this in kind of you know, survival, you're probably going to have a normal beehive, so yeah, you could have a well, you wouldn't actually have a normal beehive unless you harvested it with the silk touch. But you know, creating something like this will just keep your bees happy, and you know, just a small little design that looks quite nice. So yeah, I hope these tips kind of help you guys. If so, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more content. If you want to see some more videos, feel free to leave some ideas in the comment section below. And yeah, peace.